Yeah, welcome everyone to the regular meeting of the Cornwall Board of Selectmen. And I'll start the meeting by asking for approval of minutes, October 18th. Is there a motion to approve? Okay.
So moved.
So moved. Good. Hi, Jan. Yeah. Is there a second? I'll second it.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Communications.
Asher.
Have a couple. One, thank everyone for their donations to the Food and Fuel Fund. People are aware that the price of heating oil is going up considerably, and we've been busy with that.
You know what to do?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Ashley, you may want to mute your mic there so you sort that out. Anyway, thank everybody for donating to the Food and Fuel Fund, especially the Women's Society, who gave the fund $2,500. Also, Michelle Ship donated her winnings from the Cow Chip Bingo of $400. And we are grateful for everyone's contributions. Second report is that the River Road work will be done starting on the 14th of November. We'll hope to get signs up warning people that the road will be closed through traffic for a couple of days. And my next one is to tell people that there is still time. I believe there's still time to register to vote, although that might have passed. There is time for absentee ballots. Anyway, accurate information about the election is available on the town website. If you look under the November 8th election, there's plenty of things there. There will be no election day lunch in Cornwall Village this election day, unfortunately. There will be a senior lunch at the parish house at the same time. So anyway, we hope the election day lunch can come back at some point. So
what's the reason for that, Gordon?
What?
Is it just because they're happening at the same time?
I'm not sure exactly why that happened, or whether they, with some COVID still come around. They didn't have an inside meal.
Okay. Okay. I was just curious. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's fine. Again, thank Park and Rec for a great 2-day Halloween event. I was down last night. A lot of people there. A lot of good celebration. And again, I like the adaptation. They had tables set up outside. So even though it was kind of balmy for October, but it worked out really well. And again, great participation by the neighborhoods. And it was great to see all the people out and about, and people brought candy there for trunk or treat, new little thing where people from the outlying districts came and shared a little holiday spirit with people there. So anyway, another great community event from Park and Rec, and it's all cleaned up, and the town hall is transitioning from a haunted hall into a election hall. So anyway, thank everybody for their work to pull all that together. Any other communications or additions to the agenda?
No, but I just got on. Ash, I had to get my sound going for me. And I wanted to thank I've never seen such wonderful minutes from the last meeting. So I think Barbara did it. I wanted to say thank you very much.
Okay, well said, well received. Thank you, Barbara. Yeah, it's important to have that record of what happens here for people to refer to and have it all organized. So, so that's it for no additions. I think I might change communications to announcements or whatever. That tends to be more what it is in communications. Sometimes we get communications. First item is pickleball is moving forward in Cornwall, part of the national trend, fastest growing sport. And there will be details on the Park and Rec site. Todd Piker, our local tennis pro, is also becoming a pickleball pro, and he's leading a clinic on Saturday, November 12th from noon to 2. And again, there's more information about that on the Park and Rec website. And everyone's encouraged to come
Saturday.
there.
No, that's next Saturday.
Say again?
November 12th, you said?
Yep.
Yep.
So, and there's a reservation, an online reservation system set up so people can reserve the court. So all you pickleballers, take heart and go down and get some pointers from Todd and thank him for volunteering to lead us into that new age. So anything else on pickleball? Okay, next we have 5-year plan revisions. We do have the town meeting scheduled for November 4th, which is this Friday, 7:30 at Cornwall Consolidated School. And Joe Pryor and I have had some conversations. First, we had a good conversation with the school staff and principal about some of the capital needs of the school. They articulated the need for some capital repair, first for the wiring, for the electronics, especially the computer system at the school. They're experienced some outages internally because of the way the place is wired. So they feel there's a need to have a wiring update for there, not for the power, but for the communication services. Second thing, long-term is the carpets are wearing out, so there needs to be some replacement for that. And there's also an effort to do some upgrade of the heating controls on the furnace, especially as the price of oil being what it is. We need to have that plant run as efficiently as possible. So there were significant, some significant capital things that could be spread over 2 years. The school is going to look for grants that may cover some of this. But as this is, I think all these concerns are valid and appropriate. We did have a session with the Board of Finance. I volunteered to cut our spending on town buildings as we've sort of gotten to a place where we have some work to do, but we have funding to do that work. And our next big job is tackling the town hall, but we're going to need some architectural plans or some investigation of the condition, what some of the options are, so as opposed to just straight out construction. It's a little trickier than placing the shingles on the side of the town hall or on the roof. So we need some consultation. We do have some money to do that. So it's likely that in the coming year, we'll still be in a design phase. So I said that it would be possible to transfer from a planning standpoint, the $75,000 from our town building line to the school line. So that's why you see up at the top line, an increase in Cornwall Consolidated School from 40,000 to 75,000. That's the third line from the top under 23-24, and a decrease in town buildings from the town side and an increase on the school side. So again, it's good to have a good working relationship between the board of selectmen, finance, and the school. And I think these all made sense to Joe and myself to try to, play some catch up there without raising the bottom line of the 5 years spending too much. So that was one thing. Second thing, Joe did hear from the fire department, said they're going to be looking at replacing some trucks. They were concerned that the truck prices are going up more than the amounts that we're putting into the funds. We're just at the start of that. But the Board of Finance felt that that was a legitimate point. And again, this is a planning document. This is not a spending authorization, but just listening to what departments are saying. It may be wise to make people aware that the price of fire apparatus is going up much quicker than the price of inflation. And Joe and I have asked to meet with the fire department and see what they're thinking, see what their planning is, see what their needs are. The truck they're looking at is, I believe, a 2000. So it's 23 years old. Doesn't have a lot of miles on it. So anyway, we're going to be looking at options, timelines, whatever. But we felt, as the 5-year plan is basically a planning document, not an expenditure guide, it would be wise to at least highlight that and make some changes from a planning perspective. So those are basically the two things that we adjusted on the town plan of 5-year capital with the Board of Finance. So now I would like to make a motion that we adjust the plan on our end, as both the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Finance have to approve this ahead of Friday's town meeting. So I'll make that motion. Is there a second for discussion?
I'll second it.
Okay. Any questions? And again, this is something we do every fall, see what our plans are, and then the top year plan allotments get worked into next year's budget. So again, this is not an expenditure obligation. This is just a planning document trying to get some of the needs of the town identified. So hearing no further discussion, I make a motion to approve these revisions and present these to the November 4th town meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous? Good, thank you. November 4th town meeting, two things on the agenda. One is this 5-year plan. Second is review of the town plan, which has been, again, well edited and compiled by Barbara Herbst. It is available. I believe it's up online. Is it not, Barbara? I think
That's correct. It is.
It's online. There's some very nice pictures. The cover picture, which we all thought was in East Cornwall, is actually painted over 100 years ago by the Hudson River School artists. But it fits. And again, there's a lot of information in the town annual report, and we hope to have boards and commissions there to answer any questions that people might have. And because basically it covers all the activities and the reports for last year, which ended June 30th, 2023. And there's a lot of financial information and a lot of information about boards and commissions and volunteer organizations have been doing in the town. And it's a very good snapshot of what's been going on in the last year. And it's a time to ask questions. And even if we don't have all the answers, we can get people answers. And even if people don't come, please check it out. And if you have questions in the meantime, please ask us. But again, thanks, Barbara, for pulling the report together. It looks great. And anything else about the November town meeting, annual meeting? Hope to see you all there. It's free.
What's the time on that again, Gordon?
It's at 7:30 at school.
Yep.
It's 7:30, right, Barbara?
Correct.
Okay.
7:30 CCS.
Yeah.
And it's an in-person meeting. It's not Zoom. No
Yeah,
Zoom.
it's not Zoom because we have to do the vote. We got to take a vote to approve the 5-year plan. Yes. So, so that's it on our town meeting. Animal control officer. have had some more talks with Brad Hedden and Lee Soul, and they have said that there's actually very few field calls to get dogs. A lot of times it's done through communications and postings on websites and by texting likely owners or communication with because most dogs have to be registered. The other thing that is a new update is Brad is seeking to take a NUCON course, which is a nuisance conservation course, which would allow him to respond, I believe, to small wild animal calls like raccoons, skunks, things that seem to squirrels, bats, things to bother people that aren't domesticated animals, but not bears and deer. Those are still the territory of the State Department of Conservation. So if anybody has a bear in your car, please call DEP. The town is not set up to handle bear problems, which do seem to be on the increase. So that's sort of the direction that we're going in. I'm confident that this is our best route in view of the increased requirements of the state. And based on, Brad's recommendation and somebody who's worked with, I would think it would be good to get Lee on board. Hopefully we can start around the 1st of December. So if people have lost dogs, they send it to an authorized person. So I'd make a motion that we would hire Lee Soul as animal control officer for the town of Cornwall, as her proposals outlined. Is there a second for discussion?
Second that.
Any discussion?
I just have a quick question. So
Yeah.
if Brad's getting licensed to deal with the small animals, will he have another role moving forward in the future or not?
Well, it's to deal with small wild animals apparently is an 8-hour course as opposed to a 80-hour course or something.
Yeah.
To be an ACO, which deals with small, and apparently Lee only handles dogs. So, what happens to lost cats? Again, she handles is different than dealing. So I think a lot of, from what I understand, talking to the experts, a lot of this is resolved over, over the cell phone or by posting. There are public places where lost dogs and cats appear. So that seems to be satisfactory. And I think Lee said she only had to actually go out on the road once for 3 towns in the last year. So it seems like that is fairly workable.
So her job is going to be mainly bears and deer?
Say again?
Her job will be mainly bears.
No,
and
her
deer?
job is almost all dogs. She's basically the dog. She does not handle wildlife. She does not. She's not trained in that. She's not certified for that. The ACOs are primarily domesticated animals, which are dogs and cats. I'd have to check with her again to see if she does cats. Our main source of activity are dogs. And then if we can get Brad so you have 3 things. You have the ACO handling domesticated animals, which are mostly dogs and cats. Haven't thought about farm animals, but we'll leave them aside for the minute. So you have dogs and cats with Lee. Then you have small nuisance animals, wild animals, raccoons on down. And Brad is getting certified to work with that. And then you have the big game items, deer, bear, and moose, which again are strictly DEP multi-team response on that, or the state police. And again, Lee said a lot of times if there is a dog issue or an animal issue, a lot of times the state police will be on the scene and they have some training to deal with it. So she said she has not had a problem with lack of response on all, and she works 3 towns, all of whom are bigger than Cornwall, and she hasn't had a problem with the setup, and she's been doing it for years. So, we just go forward, work on it. I, again, try to get some publicity of her contact information, and it's great that she and Brad work together, cooperate or whatever. So we'll have hopefully a seamless transition. And she wants to go meet the people at the guild where we are able to impound our dogs if we have some dogs that aren't claimed after a period of time. So, there's some.
Let us know if she's dealing with cats.
Yeah, cats are the issue. What
Okay.
happens with cats?
Okay.
Right. Okay. Okay. So we'll get back to you on the cats.
Excellent.
Okay. Anything else on that? So all those in favor of hiring Lee?
Aye.
Okay. Good. Next is personnel policy. It's come to my attention and the Board of Finance that time goes on and we haven't updated our personnel policy in a long period of time. There have been laws passed, mandates issued that we as municipalities have to follow, such things as paid family leave and sexual harassment training. All municipal employees apparently have to have training in sexual harassment prevention. So these are things that are not spelled out in our current policy. So we did look around. We found there are some very lengthy personnel policies. We borrowed an outline of one from the town of Morris, which is approximately the same size and seemed to cover a lot of the areas that we hadn't covered, and was fairly simple and not overdone. Sometimes you can be too precise and too, there are some issues that won't be covered that would seem to be common sense, and you can, in my mind at least, be somewhat regulatory overdone. So this seems to be satisfactory. What I liked also about it was that it was also approved by ASME Council 4, which is also covers our highway union, so that we've sent it off to them. They also cover the some workers in the Warren, or I'm sorry, Morris. So they'd already signed off on this general approach, and I have showed it to most of our municipal department heads, and we'll keep on circulating this draft. But what I wanted to do was to generally tell the board this is a project we're undertaking. I showed it to Lisa Lansing, who for years has advocated an upgrade on the Board of Finance. So we are casting this around to make sure it fits our workplace. And our next move is to send it to a labor attorney. And we'll be getting, this is a draft at this point, we'll be getting some input still back from some of our workers. And I'm sure he may have some ideas. But if you have any ideas, any input, just pen it off to Barbara. Any particular word choice changes, comments, go into Barbara, and then she will collate that and send it off to the labor attorney. I'm proposing to use the Rose Law Firm, which is recommended by Connecticut Conference of Municipalities and deals with a lot of municipal law and personnel issues. So they'll look at it and we'll come back and do a final review of it and hopefully pass it into effect. Before, the other thought too is, as we're looking for administrative assistant for our board full-time and an assistant town clerk, it'd be good to get that in place, this in place before we make those hires. So we get a, again, a coherent, we have a policy that's up to date covering a lot of things that are are topical these days. So anyway, if the board has any comments or whatever, just send it off to Barbara and we'll incorporate into a draft to send to this attorney. We'll get a final draft. Hopefully, we haven't heard back from the union yet. We'll try to get everything put together, as soon as we can, and then back to the board for approval. And then we'll have a updated personnel policy.
Do you have a date that you're shooting for?
I would like to get it all finalized by the end of the year.
Okay.
I think it's realistic.
Yep.
And again, because we didn't write most of this ourselves, we have changed it slightly. Yeah, but that's our goal. And then again, we'd start a hiring practice probably at the start of next year for our administrative assistant.
Mm-hmm.
I think Vera wants to get somebody in place about the same time. And again, if we get something that's a draft, at least we can show them maybe the draft or something if it lags, but we're pretty close. Okay, so that's where we're at.
First time I'd ever read one all the way through. And what I liked best of all was page 32, where the new employee has an acknowledgement of receipt that she has to sign and turn in, or he has to sign it. I like that.
Yeah.
Very thorough.
Get everybody on the same page.
Yep.
Right. Good. Yeah. And again, this policy will also cover elected officials and some volunteers. So again, we want to have things are, not everything is pertinent to volunteers that covers full-time employees and things, but we want to, because we live in an increasingly complicated world, we have to have a policy for everybody that's underneath the town of Cornwall's umbrella. So we have been told that, and I'm sure it's true. Okay, so anyway, that's one of our fall jobs that will keep on going. All right, thank you. Next, we have a tax refund. Let's see, that looks like it's $240 for overpayment of vehicle taxes on a leased vehicle. I'll make a motion to grant the request of our hardworking tax collector for $240.57 to a taxpayer, Chase Auto. Okay, so is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so that's most of our agenda. We're down to public comments. Let's see, we have some press with us tonight. So any comments, questions?
Now that you put it that way, Gordon, I have to at least ask one, right?
Okay, here we go.
Okay, River Road, what are we talking about?
What we're talking about, there's a section of River Road. This is north of West Cornwall. The dirt section heading to Falls Village is, that section of River Road, very scenic part of town. Unfortunately, it's named River Road for a reason, in that it's very close to the river, and sometimes the river takes its toll on River Road. And there's a stone embankment that holds the road up, and in one particular spot, some of the rocks have tumbled into the river. So we are looking at adding some new stone, field stone, not riprap, but actual field stone that will look like the stone that's there, about a 40-foot section. We've hired Steve Dean, who has a large excavator. He did a lot of the work. We had a similar project on River Road on Mill Brook, right at the intersection of 128. And Steve and the crew did a great job putting that back together in a very nice way. So it looks like it might take 3 days, under which time the road will be closed during the day. I think we'll open it up at night, and we'll be able to get emergency vehicles there. But because it's so narrow, it's a one-lane road, and once time you get the excavator in the middle of the road, it's not realistic for us to maintain traffic on that. So again, we're just trying to keep River Road intact and not have it actually go into the river. And we have talked to our environmental associates about it. Okay. So again, we hope to start on or about November 14th, and we'll put some signs up warning people. Any other questions, comments?
Hi, Gordon. I'm here.
Hello, Michelle.
I popped in late. I know you had pickleball on the agenda for the first part.
Yes.
And announced it. I just want to make sure to double clarify that with you all. Unfortunately, in the Chronicle, when Todd submitted, there was one of those glitches in day and date matching up. It is Saturday, not the 11th, but rather the 12th. So in the Chronicle, you're going to see an error of date. And it is, as Gordon announced, on Saturday, November 12th from noon to 12. And in the meantime, if anybody already knows how to play pickleball or has people, there is a shed out there that you'll see. Next to the shed, there's a little Rubbermaid bin. Lift up the lid, and inside that bin, you'll find some Park and Rec supplies. You'll get a net. Please bring your own ball and paddles for pickleball. But you do have a net in there that you can use to set up when you come in. And then just sharing the court between pickleball and basketball. So the way it's going to work is that the court changes on the hour, every hour for use. Whatever game is being played doesn't matter. It's if someone's waiting, then the court will switch over. So if someone's there playing pickleball and someone else wants to play pickleball, on the hour they should be allowed to play, or if someone's coming to play basketball or whatever. So that way we'll just rotate the court usage. And if you find that you are going down there and you're always being interrupted or there's a long wait, please do communicate with Park and Rec and let us know so we know if we need to have a scheduling technique or maybe more pickleball courts or whatever we can do, more basketball courts, we'll solve that. But we need to hear from you if you go and find yourself that the courts are always busy. So it looks like we're going to have some cold but dry weather coming. So play pickleball until the snow flies.
Okay.
I played for the first time this weekend, Michelle. The first time I've ever played. So I did get beaten 8-11, but I did give her a run for her money.
And did you have fun though, Janet?
It was a blast. I like tennis a lot. And so I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for doing that.
You're welcome. I have not played myself, but I hear that when people play, there's a lot of laughter going on and it's a lot of fun. For those who don't know, pickleball is a combination of tennis, badminton, and like ping pong. So your ball is like a big wiffle ball and you're playing with like ping pong paddles over what is like a tennis net. And other than that, I can't give you the rules, but Todd Piker and Tom and some others are very well versed in it, and they will teach you all how to play. And I hear it's not hard, so it'll be a fun Cornwall. And remember, pickle snacks are optional, but you could bring your pickle snacks.
Nice.
Got it. Okay. Good. Anything else?
No, thanks, Gordon.
Okay, thank you, and see you all at the town meeting this Friday night, 7:30 CCS. If you can make it, that'd be great. Okay, thank you all.
Can I record that too?
Hello, what?
Can I record that on Friday night?
Absolutely. Yep.
I'll be there with my camera.
You got it. All right, Richard. Sounds good. All right. Thank you. Yep. See you soon.
Guys.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.